up, everyone? It's your favorite marketer and podcast host. My name is Prit. I'm the author of 0 to 4 Figures, a marketing strategy consultant, and a few of the roles that I do take on. I'm a podcaster, YouTuber, Etsy shop owner, and a Skillshare teacher as well. All of the links are in the description box below if you would like to check it out. On this podcast, I usually shuffle between giving solo podcast episodes and bringing in experts to give you actionable steps on various marketing, business, and mindset strategies to help you grow the business you love. Today's episode is a very special one. I have actually not scripted this at all. It is my 30th birthday special, and for me personally, there's so many feelings. I'm feeling absolutely, I don't know, guys. I probably should have scripted this, but I thought I would kind of reflect on my life so far, and I know that this would probably be one of my most precious podcast episodes to look back on. And my entrepreneurial journey has been a very integral part of the last decade, so I do want to take some time and acknowledge that as well. So let's get started with today's podcast episode, Reflections on my 30th birthday. So the last decade for me, it's been really, really hard. It has. There is a part of me that looks back today and I don't know how I made it through all of those terrible, terrible lows. But at the same time, I think the biggest truth of my life is that I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. I have always been, and I always will be. And for a huge part of my life, close to 10 to 20 years, I just kept doubting it. I did not understand that I was heading the way that I was meant to. And of course, even the mistakes that I made, even the stumbles that I had, they were meant to happen. They were meant to shape me into who I've always wanted to be and who I was meant to be as well. And while I was going through all of those very dark times, I would say, I did not think that I would make it out alive. There was a point, actually there were 2 points in my life where I did not think I would make it out. I did not think at all. It was just not even a possibility. And for me, there was a point in my life where even getting to the next day was no longer a reflex. It was something that I had to really struggle and make up my mind and say, no, I'm going to take the next step. I'm going to just try, to figure things out, but I'll just take each second, each minute, each day at a time. And for me to be here today, I'm proud. I'm really proud, because I think a lot of times we don't appreciate how much of effort it takes us to get out of a very dark place. Did not think I was going to cry. This is supposed to be like a reflections, but yeah, I'm very emotional about it. And I think that I do need to take some time and thank myself for making it this far. There were times where it was very, very painful, still painful for me to think about, but I made it through, and I don't think we give enough credit to ourselves for getting out of a bad space or a bad situation. I think it takes a lot of courage. I think it really, really takes a lot of courage. A lot of times people ask me, well, how did you do it? And frankly, I don't know. I really don't know. It was hard. It was really hard, but things didn't get better for me until I decided to make it better. And I think that's another lesson that I've personally learned in my life, that whatever the situation is, I can always make it better, but I have to first decide to make it better. And the last decade especially, let's talk a little bit about that, because the first 20 years, as much as there were a couple of lows, for the most part, I think I knew how to be happy, or I knew how to bounce back. But the last 10 years, at least from the ages of 20 to 27 for me, 28 also actually included in that, I don't know. There's a lot of things that I really, I'll probably take to the grave. I can't really express what I went through because it's just that personal, and frankly, I'm still working through it and healing from it. But I think one thing that I learned in my early 20s is that if it's not meant to be, it will not happen. No matter how much effort you put in, no matter how much you struggle, no matter anything, basically, if it's not meant to be, it will not be. And the flip side is true, and that's what happened in the last 3 years, that's from 27 to 30, is that if it is meant to be, there is nothing that can stop it from happening. I was meant to be an entrepreneur. I was meant to do this, to be on this podcast, to be a YouTuber, to share my thoughts with the world, to make a difference. I was meant to do it, and at every single point in my life, it was just reaffirmed to me again and again that this was the path that was meant for me. And that meant, my H-1B visa not being processed, and things just turned. Things just created a path for me to walk. Yes, that path was very, very painful, but this was what I was meant to do all along. And if it had not been for the H-1B work visa, I don't think I would have come on this path. I really don't think so. It probably would have taken me 10 to 15 years, but I think at that point I would have gotten very, very comfortable. And I don't think that I would have had the push that this journey really needs. Because there's a lot of lows. There's a lot of lows that happens on this journey. And for me personally, I think the pain and the anguish and the frustration from the H-1B work visa not being processed fueled my entire perception of this journey, to be honest with you. And I think for me, the biggest lessons were taught because I needed to get here, because I needed to learn them first before I could share them with everyone else. And I'm feeling very emotional at this point. And I don't know, today it makes sense, guys. Today it really does. Everything just fit like a puzzle, and I never ever thought it would. Never in my life did I think that things would make sense, like whatever I went through and all that. But today, at the age of 30, it makes sense. It makes sense why it had to happen that way, why things had to go that way, why I had to be in that situation, why I had to be in pain, why I had to struggle to overcome, why I had to go through actual trauma to get to where I am today. It makes sense. It does. It fits. And I think one of the biggest realizations for me in the past month, especially after publishing my book, is it was all worth it. It was, I never thought I would say this. Like, not even once in my 30 years did I ever think I would say that the pain, the struggle was worth it. But today it is. It really is. The person that I am today, oh my God. It's taken me a lot to get here, but I can officially say that it was worth it. And I know there are some things in my life that still don't make sense. But the fact that a huge chunk of my life makes sense today makes me believe that the other parts will make sense someday, and those parts will all be worth it someday as well. That's where I am at today. I'm exactly where I'm just meant to be, And I doubted that for so much of my life. Today and for the days to come, I will never doubt it, because I think that what's meant to be will be. I mean, it will break down paths, it will even turn the world around, but if it's meant for you, it will come to you. It just will be. And I think that is the biggest truth of my life. If I have to look back at every single fall, stumble, misstep, failure, what else, misdirection, I think it was just all meant to lead me here. And let's talk about the last 3 years, or the first 3 years of my entrepreneurial journey. I started this with a mission to help other people. Yes, I had personal goals and stuff like that, but I really knew on a very deep level from a very young age that I was meant to make a difference. And I don't know why I'm getting so emotional about this, but even from a very young age, I just knew that I was meant to do more. I was meant to make a difference. And I started a blog back when I was, I think, only 16 or 17, and I started it because I knew that my thoughts mattered. I knew that what I was putting out there was going to make a difference to someone out there. And so yeah, from a pretty young age, I knew I wanted to make a difference. I knew I was meant to do that. And for me, the entrepreneurial journey honestly has provided the biggest platform for me to make a difference, and that touches me in ways that I can't even begin to explain. Every time someone comes up to me and they say, well, Prit, because of you, I was able to take this step, or because of you, I had the courage to think differently about a situation, because of you, I had the courage to walk out of a bad situation, because of you, I was able to take a leap of faith. And that means so much to me. You have absolutely no idea how those little things really give me the will to keep moving forward, because this journey is not easy. Absolutely not. There are more lows than highs, and this really helps me sail through the lows. It really, really does. And to have made an impact on so many people, that really touches me, because I feel like this is what I was always meant to do. This is really, really what I was always meant to do, to make a difference. And I think that's why the entrepreneurial journey means so much to me. That's why my book means so much to me, because I wrote it with the main intention of helping as many people as possible. So yeah, let's talk about the book now. Oh my God. With the book, yes, I will definitely start bawling, because the book is actually how I started to make peace with where I am. For my 29th birthday, I was very, very low. I was very sad. There were just a lot of things that, I had a hairline fracture at that time, and it was in the most weirdest way that I had the hairline fracture. I mean, I was just hopping down steps. I wasn't hopping, I was running downstairs, and it was just normal stairs. It was just, I can't even believe it happened, to be honest with you. But at this time last year, I had a hairline fracture. I was on bed rest, and I couldn't do anything for my birthday. It was the first, time that my sister had gone to the US, and then I was here. I was missing her so much for my birthday. And basically, I was just not feeling my best. Even my business, it was just, the pandemic was starting to get over, but at the same time, I wasn't where I thought I would be with respect to my business. So everything was just making me feel very low at that point of time. And don't know, guys, I just woke up one morning and I said, no, I've got to change this. I'm going to get back to writing the book. And for those of you who don't know, I actually started writing the book Jan to April of 2021, but it just wasn't in the direction that I wanted it. It just didn't feel aligned to who I was, and it was only through the hairline fracture. Like I said, every single thing starts to make sense, doesn't it? It was such a random thing to happen, but that break that I took from my business for a month gave me the time that I needed to think about my book and what direction I wanted it to be, and basically what was the purpose of the book. And everything just started to click for me with respect to the book. So again, everything just fit, everything just fit like a puzzle. And then I started writing the book, and technically I started writing in October, because all of what I'd written from Jan to April, it wasn't, maybe I repurposed it to a certain level, but I officially started writing in October. And if you've read my book, 0 to 4 Figures, you will know that it's got a lot of beautiful memories from my life, all in the book. And it's also got me trying to make sense and figure out lessons from those memories, right? And it was through that I realized every single thing that has happened in my life has led me here. Even if I missed out one single thing, I wouldn't be here today. And I'm really grateful that I started writing the book, because I think it would have taken me much, much, much longer to have this sense of gratitude towards the life that has been given to me. And I do have to say that for a very long time in my life, I'd taken the life that I have for granted. I did. And there was a point in my life where I was just keen to end it, I couldn't take it anymore, and I just did not want to continue. But to have come out of that and to be in a place where I love breathing, just the fact that I love what I do, I love breathing, I love just absorbing what's around me. It's remarkable how far I've come. It really is. And I do need to take some time to acknowledge that I've made it here, right? I do. And it wouldn't have happened without the book. It really would not have happened. I poured my heart and soul into the book, and I think when you read it, you will know, you will sense it. And I wrote that book because it was just a part of my mission to share my story and to share my life lessons with people. I really fundamentally believe that to be the reason why I'm here. I believe that. And yeah, I think I've been going too long, but I will wrap this up pretty quick now. And for those of you who've been a part of my journey, regardless of how much time we have spent together, I just want to say thank you. In some way, shape, or form, I know that you have contributed to my entrepreneurial journey, whether it's just a thumbs up that you've given me on my Instagram page, or a review that you've left, or even just personally reached out to me and said, you're doing something good, please keep going. I cannot even begin to tell you how much each of those things mean to me. It really means the world to me. It has and will continue to motivate me to fulfill my life purpose. And while I'm only human and I do have my own personal aspirations, for a couple of them, I've actually hit my aspirations. Publishing a book was one of them. And I'm actually feeling like I'm meant to be here. Like 30, I'm feeling like yes. I've actually done things that I'm very proud of, and I feel accomplished today at the age of 30. I do. And I think in a way that makes me happy. This birthday makes me happy in more ways than one, especially with the book launch so close to my birthday. I mean, when I decided I wanted to write my book, and it was actually on my birthday that I decided I would just write a book and publish it before I turned 30, and I did that. And like I said, I'm feeling very accomplished today, and it's only through the book that I learned the lesson that whatever I have accomplished today, I'm just exactly where I'm meant to be. So even at 31, I'm going to feel accomplished. Even at 35, even at 40, even at 45, even at 50, because I know I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. And I think that feeling was only given to me by my book. So in more ways than one, I think the book taught me how to have a very different outlook of my life so far, and in more ways than one. I think the book was a beautiful way to wrap up a decade of lessons. I think it was. And I cry every time I talk about the book because I cannot even begin to explain the impact it has had on my life. And yeah, I can't even begin to explain. So yeah, that's where I am at today. I'm happy. More than happy, I think I'm at peace. I'm really genuinely at peace with my life that has happened so far. And I think I'm at a point where I know that I'm the only person who makes or creates my life. And that gives me hope that the next decade will be a memorable one. Yes, it will have lessons, of course. I'm only human, I'm gonna make mistakes, I'm gonna stumble, I'm gonna fall. But more than that, I think the belief in myself that I can create my life the way I want it gives me hope that in some shape or form, it's going to be better than I've ever dreamed of. So that's where I will leave you with this podcast episode. It's a little bit different from the ones that I have published so far, but I think it's also important for me to share where I am at and share these beautiful milestones that I'm hitting with my life as well, because you've been a part of it, right? And I think it's important for me to acknowledge, one, how far I've come. It's important also for me to acknowledge how much you have contributed to my journey as well. So thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast episode. And I really hope that I do continue to have your support, because it really means the world to me. It really pulls me out of dark places. It really pulls me out of my lows. It really pulls me out of the many, many times that I have failed and will continue to fail on this journey as well. And not just that, your support has also taught me how to fully appreciate the wins that I've had so far and the wins that I will have in my life as well. Not just with my business, but also with respect to my personal life as well. There are many, many places that I want to be. There is a far, far journey left for me to take. But here today at 30, I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. I always have been, I always will be, and never again am I going to doubt it. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening. I will catch you guys in my next podcast episode. Bye-bye.